to constitutional attorney and Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley, who just wrote this opinion piece for Fox. Joe Biden's pardon of son Hunter Biden cements his legacy as liar in chief. Jonathan, very strong words. Tell us what's behind them.
Well, to be honest, we've always had these ongoing complaints about the corruption associated with the Biden administration and the influence peddling scandal that brought in millions to his family. President Biden lied repeatedly when asked if he knew of these business dealings. He said he didn't have any knowledge of the business dealings. He said he didn't have any chance to meet these clients or met with them in person. Those have been proven to be false as well. But the pardon question came up repeatedly, and both he and the White House were adamant that they weren't considering and would not give a pardon. And as in 2020, when he lied about his knowledge about the business dealings of his son, he was running for re-election in 2024 when he lied about his intentions on pardoning his son. Now, the language of this pardon is virtually unprecedented. Yes. I mean, Nixon was very, very broad, but we've never seen anything like this. He's literally pardoning his son for any crime that he may have committed during these years, everything from money laundering to murder. Now, he could obviously be charged with state offenses, but the statute of limitations have largely run on those offenses. So it's a really breathtaking act of contempt for the American people, and it has happened over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, he could have done this tightly framed to the two cases where he was indicted, the gun case and the tax case. But when you look at what he did, a 10-year period from 2014 to 2024, anything that happened during that time period, Jonathan, it really reminded me of the original plea deal, which the judge scoffed at. And so it's almost as if President Biden said, okay, we're going to put that back together for you, son. We're going to give you that deal that you wanted.
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. And, that plea agreement fell apart when the judge asked the prosecutor, have you ever seen anything like this? And the prosecutor said, no.
Never.
And it fell apart. Well, the president just recreated it and actually expanded on it. The difference is in the Nixon pardon, Ford wasn't implicated in any of those allegations.
Yeah.
This sweeps into offenses that have been alleged not just against Hunter Biden, but have implicated the president himself.
Absolutely.
So he's also a beneficiary from this pardon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that may be the whole story here. I mean, if it weren't that Biden was also implicated, President Biden, in this, it might make a little bit less sense. But this is the email from James Gilliar to Hunter, Tony Bobulinski, and others, which everyone will, of course, remember about a deal they were putting together, 10 held for the big guy when they're talking about the percentage breakdown in this deal. Now, this was when Biden was leaving the vice presidency, but these are all things that he did not want to come to light in any way, shape, or form, Jonathan.
That's right. And we also have things like the "What's Up" message, where Hunter Biden is saying, my father's sitting right next to me, and basically coercing a Chinese businessman to send more money, or he would use his father to retaliate. So, the Congress has been exploring the president's role in all of this, and this largely shuts that down. And this is what we've been writing about a long time. It also makes sense now about what was happening in these cases. As you and I have talked about before, none of the things that Biden did in court made sense to me as a criminal defense attorney. He was doing nothing but three-point shots that he was never going to sink. And in cases like this, you got defendants trying to get close to the basket to try to reduce the risk that they were facing. Hunter showed no concern at all. And the only explanation for that is that he believed that he had a pocket pardon, that his father would pardon him if everything else failed. And that has come to be the case.
It's a great point. I mean, when you look at other pardons in history, you look at Mark Rich under Clinton, Roger Clinton under Bill Clinton, Charles Kushner under Trump. In none of these cases was there any even potential connection from the person who pardoned them to the underlying offense. And in 2 out of the 3, these people already did jail time when the pardon came. Jonathan, thank you very much. Great to have you with us, as always. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.